Welcome to the Know, Like, Trust podcast for real estate professionals. In this podcast, you'll discover what it takes to establish know, like, and trust, and connect with the right people for success in real estate. If you're a marketing strategist, real estate agent, or another professional in the real estate space, and you're interested in building a referral-based business, you're in the right place. Here are your hosts, Betty Russo and Christine George.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Know, Like, Trust podcast. This is our live cast, and I am one of your hosts, Christine George.
And I'm Betty Russo. And wow, that was a pretty good vocalization over there. You belted out a pretty good sound like,
Thank you.
That's very good. Yes, I'm Betty Russo. What's that?
I said, how are you today, Betty Russo?
I'm so wonderful. And you?
I'm great.
Happy New Year.
I'm so
Happy New Year, everyone. It's going to be a great year. We have an awesome episode today. We did this similar episode last year, introducing our guiding words for the year. And we love this exercise. It's so much fun. And, it actually does make a difference. So we want to talk about that and a few other things. Like I said, it's going to be a great new year. We have lots of fun things coming up, lots of changes. So
yeah, we have a big announcement.
Yeah, we had a big
announcement, right?
I got to tell you something.
We're not going to.
I was so excited about getting on to this podcast today. I completely forgot to plug in my mic. So hopefully you all can hear me okay, because it's just me and my laptop right now.
I can hear you great. All
right, good. I was about to plug in, but I figured I might mess something up. So let me just leave it be.
I want to start out by asking you, what was your word last year? Do you remember?
Of course. My word was bold.
All right. And did you keep track of it? Did you did it guide you through the year as it is meant to? Or did you feel like you embodied the word? Tell me about that.
So I did. The one thing though that I'm going to do different this year than I did last year is bold was always in the background. Yes, absolutely. But it wasn't right in front of my face. So what I've done is with my word this year, I created a note that's on my laptop and it stays out on my screen with my word. Yes. So this way, every time I open my laptop, it's in my face.
Yep.
And I think that'll be, even better. But last year doing the word was awesome because I hadn't done that before. I kind of did, but not really, but I didn't really dig in like I did last year. And I love the word bold. I don't really know how it came to me. I mean, I decided that I had to be bolder in 2022. I think I'm pretty bold to start off with, but I needed, to get even bolder. And ironically, my brokerage had a coaching class that is run. There's a coach within Keller Williams that comes to our brokerage, and she actually, not just us, but she goes all over and teaches this class, and it happens to be called Bold. So
I remember
that really sealed it for me. That was awesome. Yeah. And what's interesting too is the colors for bold are purple and black. So I'm like,
which is your colors.
This bold is so meant to be for me. And it was great. How about you? What was yours?
Well, mine was purpose. And I feel like it's interesting. The last few years, I think my first year doing this, it was rise.
It was what?
And then it was rise.
Rise. Yeah.
Rise, rise up. And then the next year it was community. And that was super important to me because that was the year of COVID and my cancer diagnosis. So it was community was critical at that, in that moment. And then last year it was purpose. And I feel like I embodied the word because I realized, okay, I think for many years, I was like trying to figure out what is my purpose? Like, what is my legacy going to be? What am I going to leave behind for my son? What do I want people to know? How do I want them to remember me? What do I want them to know me for? And lo and behold, we started, Carrie and I started Post and Beam this year. So I feel like that happened and that suited me well. And then, so for moving forward, I am like so excited for my word this year. So excited.
Well, I have to say, I definitely agree. I was going to say that you definitely found your purpose. Like that word definitely guided you through the year. I find that just so incredibly amazing. Like,
yes. Like, you were saying you're going to put the note on your laptop, which I'm totally going to do that now too. That was probably the one challenging thing the last couple of years because I never, checked in with it. I didn't have it, in front of me to continually go back to. But I think just the exercise of doing it, figuring out what your word is.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
The seed in the back of your mind, right?
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. It's like having a goal. Your word encompasses your goals for the year.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it definitely helps. I never looked at it that way until just now, but really, it really, really helps. Yeah. So
it does. And so I guess I would say one thing before we get into it is it's really important to set your goals, both business and personal, because then when you're starting to think about your guiding word, I think it really aligns with what those goals are, which is what you're saying. So
absolutely.
I want you to start, but before we do that, I do want to shout out Deborah Trapin, who was going to be with us today, and turns out she wasn't able to be with us, but she really is the inspiration for us doing our guiding words every year. And I do want to let folks know that if you've never done this before and you're interested in doing it, Deborah has an unbelievable guide, a resource guide that will sort of walk you through the whole process. And we're going to put it up on the screen, but it's deborahtrapin.com/mylife23. We'll put it on the screen here. We'll put it in the show notes, but definitely check that out. Okay. I can't wait to hear what your word is.
So is that where we're going to start with my word?
Yeah.
Okay. So my word is pivot. And pivot is huge for me this year. First of all, I have Ross Geller to thank for that. Because, I have to tell you, I'm not going to lie. I do sometimes scroll through reels on Instagram. I have to tell you, there are many of times I sit there just laughing hysterically, and I'm laughing with my earbuds in, so that like I'm like in my own space here. And my husband's like, "What the heck are you laughing at? It's funny." There's a lot of funny reels, and Instagram must have realized that I like Friends because it's constantly showing me Friends reels. And Pivot, if you're a Friends fan, the episode.
Come here to me. No, you come here to me.
Hey, Ross. I brought reinforcements.
Oh, great. What, you brought Joey?
Well, I brought the next best thing.
Yeah. Chandler? You brought Chandler? The next best thing would be Monica.
I would be offended, but Monica is freakishly strong, so.
Look, I drew a sketch of how we're going to do it, okay? Rach, that's you. That's the couch.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, what's that?
Oh, that's me.
Wow. Certainly think a lot of yourself.
Oh, that's my arm.
Oh, I see. I thought you just really, really liked your new couch.
Just follow my lead.
Okay.
Come on, Chandler. All right, okay. Here we go. All right, ready? Yeah. Turn. Okay. Turn.
I don't think we can turn anymore.
yeah, it will. Come on, up. Up. Yes. Here we go. Pivot. 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 Pivot.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Okay, I don't think it's gonna pivot anymore.
You think?
All right, let's bring it back down and try again.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, I think it's really stuck now.
Can't believe that didn't work.
I know, me neither. I mean, you had a sketch.
Oh, you know what? What did you mean when you said pivot?
And I don't know if that's how I got the word because, I was constantly seeing that and it's in the back of my head, or if I just came up with it, I have no idea. But pivot is so perfect for me this year.
Love it.
You know that I did a lot of pivoting last year. I made a lot of changes. I switched brokerages. I did a lot of pivoting for sure. But this year, my focus is on pivot because there's more to come. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, break out each letter for us. Tell us the meaning within the word.
So pivot. The first letter P is for people. So I like to say I'm a people person. I definitely can be introverted, but I'm also find myself to be very, people oriented and outgoing. So it's kind of weird. It's what's that word for introvert and extrovert together? Ambivert. Yes, but people. I've learned in the past year, especially in the past couple of months, that I really enjoy interacting with people. I think I knew that, but I think it really, it happens with the Bold class that I took, the Bold, the past couple of months with Keller. It's brought to the forefront that I really enjoy talking with and communicating with and being with people. So I feel like I put myself out there a lot, but I need to put myself out there more and I need to engage more instead of always delivering, which I do. And I love delivering. I need more engagement in getting to know people because I really enjoy that. I find it to be a lot of fun. So people is my P, and the I would be intentional. So I'm getting so much more intentional with my business. Recently, I have realized that I'm just doing too much. Even when it comes down to my social media marketing, and I'm all over social media, but I'm narrowing it down. I'm not done with it at all. You're still going to see me every day, but I'm narrowing everything I do down so that it's clean. And so it just rolls, I'm not taking too much time to do things that are unnecessary. I'm really focusing in. And getting intentional with everything that I do in business and my personal life. So it feels good. It feels really good.
And I've seen, that's awesome. And I've seen you start to do that in the last, since you started to make the decision to change your brokerage, you were starting to think about, okay, what do I want long-term? Where do I want my business to be? How is it going to fit in with my life? And I love that one of the things you and I were chatting yesterday that I have always admired about you is it was your kids first, your family first, and then your career. You built your career to fit into that lifestyle. That was your lifestyle. And then you built your career inside of that. And, I love that about you. Yeah. And you're doing the same thing with your sort of this next chapter at this point.
It is. So even though my girls are grown-ups now, it still always going to be that way. Family first for me. But my life obviously has changed a lot as they've grown up. And, it changes. Everything changes. So that's why I'm pivoting now. But yeah, intentionality, it's so important to me this year. I feel like in order to grow your business and in order to grow your personal self, you need to shave off like the things that are too much. You can't do everything. Let's get intentional and focus on where I'm going and what I need to do to get there.
Yeah. And what really matters too. Like, I think one of the things about growing older for me is the wisdom and the confidence.
Old.
Older, not old. The years, they give you the wisdom and the confidence to say, I don't need to be here. I don't need to read that. I don't need to watch this. I don't need to buy that. I don't need to spend time with, the energy vampire over here. You have, right? It's like shave off the stuff that isn't feeding your soul.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So my next word is a little bit in a different direction. V. The V in pivot is for virtual. So I do a lot of business virtually. Obviously, as a real estate agent, I do need to be in person. But there is so much that can be done virtually. I don't think that real estate agents realize that. There is so much. I mean, I can do, like a CMA, I can do a market analysis on someone's house virtually. I mean, I've done this in the past where I do go to the house, I meet, with the homeowners, we talk, we chat, we get to know each other. And then I run the comps and I literally get on my computer. I create a video with me talking, the MLS in the background, and I am walking them through virtually what I'm looking at to determine their price range. And it's awesome because they can take this video and they can look at it and look at it and look at it again. I'm putting everything in front of them instead of just having this conversation with them, showing it to them in a format that they can rewind and look again if they need to. And they love it. And that's just an example of what you can do virtually, right? There's so much you can do. And you know what? I don't have to be there for everything. If I want to go away and do something different, I have a real estate agent that will back me up. That could be me in person if need be. Like I have a listing coming up. I've already met with the homeowners 100 times. And when it's time to go active, she'll meet the photographer there. She will do the open house. I don't have to be there for everything. So I can be virtual. I can run my business virtually. And for, the little extra things that need to be done in person, I can have somebody there. And again, those are just small examples of what can be done. But my goal is to get even more virtual. I will always be the face to my clients though. And I will always be, the communicator and the one talking with them. My clients will never, ever, ever go on the back burner, but there's different ways to do things these days. And I'm all over that, all over it.
Good for you.
Yeah. So the O in pivot is for outrageous. So it's funny because I just changed the O last night. I'm like, it's just not sitting well with me. I need to change it up. And outrageous came to mind. Like that book, right? Outrageous Authenticity. Some people think outrageous could be like a negative connotation, but no, in this sense, it's good. It's outrageous. It's over the top amazing. That's what I want my 2023 to look like. So we're definitely shooting for big things. And the T is for teamwork. And that goes back to, what I was talking about with being virtual. Teamwork. I can't do everything by myself. It's just impossible. For what I want in my life, I can't just always do it by myself. So I have started in 2022 incorporating virtual teammates, which has just been a game changer. I have the one live person here with me, but then I also have somebody that's now helping me with my social media marketing. That's virtual. Mind you, everything social media is in my voice and nothing ever goes out there without my approval. I am still the creator of my content. And I am still the person that engages. If you make a comment on any of my posts, I'm the one answering. So I'm still the owner of my social media, but I have somebody that's helping me manage it. And then, what else do I have? I have a transaction coordinator now that is also virtual. So she's doing a lot of the paperwork in the background so that I can be the face to my clients. So while I don't have a team in the normal, like real estate, what you think of when you think of a team, I have a virtual team, and it makes a world of difference. So teamwork, I'm looking forward to expanding that in 2023.
That's a game changer. That is a
game changer.
Yeah. I do think a lot of agents struggle with getting to making that transition from individual agent to, you don't, like, everybody will say, oh, I need to either be part of a team or start a team. And I think what you're doing is like a hybrid of that. And you don't need to make that huge leap to a team. You just need to start letting go of some of those things that aren't making rain. You're the rainmaker, you're the face, just like you said. And so, transition into let somebody else do the paperwork. It's so not fun. Not fun, right? So that's so smart what you're doing. Yeah.
It's funny that you said that, in regard to being the rainmaker and letting other people help, and letting go of things. I have to tell you, just until recently, I refused to let go of anything because that's how I am. I'm not controlling, no, but I have to have my hands on everything that's mine, on everything that I do that comes from me. I have to be there. And finally, I was just like, it's just too much. Like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep at this pace and focus on, again, where I want to be down the road. I have to change up how I'm doing things so that I can progress in the direction I want to go, right? What got you here won't get you there. So it's time to pivot. And I'm really excited about that.
100%. I love hearing this from you, Betty. I think it's, it's like this next step in like leveling up your business, enlightening yourself, like self-care, taking care of yourself and what you need and how you can continue to show up. If you want to continue to show up at the level that you're at, then you've got to let go of some things,
Absolutely.
Okay. So we do have an announcement, right?
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to preface it with, we're talking about pivoting, and a lot of the conversation is around getting rid of things that don't serve you or things that you don't have time to do or that don't speak to you. And this announcement has nothing to do with any of that, because something that I'm pivoting from now is something that I actually love, but I need to give it up because it does not speak to my business. And I need that extra focus to go into my business. So while I am going to be a regular on the podcast, I am turning over my portion of the podcast to Christine and Post and Beam. will be running the podcast. I know Carrie will be there too, but it's mostly going to be you, Christine. And I'm sad, but I'm excited because, like I said, I mean, we have a deal. If I'm going to do this, I am going to continue being on the show.
Yes.
And we have created a whole year of content for this year. And in our topics, there are a lot that we are just one-on-one. And those are such great topics. I cannot wait to dig into those. So I'm not really giving it up. I am, but I'm not. I think our podcast talks so much to what you're doing now with Post and Beam. And I think it's a good move for both of us. I think it's a positive move. And I think it'll be great. And I'm looking forward to my continued contributions here and our continued talks. It's just going to be a little bit different. So it's not sad. It's good.
I know, like, you're such a professional. You're such a professional. You're incredibly articulate. I just like, this would never have happened without you. I mean, you were the one who came to me and said, let's do this. So I have immense gratitude for bringing me in, believing in me, seeing the vision for what we could create together. This is episode 44, which, you know, we're every 2 weeks. We have been consistent every 2 weeks. Like you know, we made a commitment, and to me, that's just, it's been an amazing ride, you know, and we've grown a really nice friendship. You are part of Post and Beam, and, you know, yeah. And you're going to be in our focus group in a couple of weeks, and this is not goodbye. This is not, it's over. This is not a breakup. It's not a divorce. It is a pivot. And
exactly.
Yeah. And I appreciate you, and I thank you. And I'm excited. I'm excited. We have, like, I want to say 6 or 7 episodes.
It might even be
planned.
more. I was on the calendar the other day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that we were. I mean, I guess I did realize, but I forgot that we were doing so many episodes just one-on-one. So that's going to be so much fun. But
it is. It's going to be like a reunion every time.
Yeah, every time. But, you know, I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, there's no sadness there.
No sadness. And it's still the No Like Trust podcast. We have a great lineup of people who are coming on the show over the next 12 months. It's going to be phenomenal. So stay with us, stay tuned for more. But that's like, we'll park that for now, and let's get into my word. What do you think?
Yes, I want to know what your word is. Let's hear it.
All right.
Actually, I know what your word is. But
I know. Well, you don't know the breakdown thing, because I was still working on it as of last night. So my word this year is radiate. And I mean, radiate in the sense that, you know, of shining, beaming, announcing, you know, in the sense that, you know, I want to get myself out there in a very different, positive way. So that's sort of the impetus for the whole thing. The R, I have to tell you, like, I'm so excited about my meanings here. The R is, I want to role model hard work, kindness, gratitude, and commitment to my son. So it's very specific. Certainly I want to, you know, role model that to everybody, but I'm very focused on my son in particular. He's at that age, which you've been at, like 11 years old, where, you know, he's really tuning into everything that we say and do. And for me, it's really important that I am setting the right example. Mm-hmm. So role modeling hard work, kindness, gratitude, and commitment is the R.
That is
A.
a big word that has a lot of words in it, but it's so
Oh yeah.
important. You know what? I have to say, you're already such a great role model for so many people.
Oh.
So, I know you want to take that to the next level and apply that to your son, but yeah, you already have it going on. So next.
A, answer the call of opportunity and be open to new and different ideas. And that, as I look to sort of, outreach and shine, for me, that's, just like you've done, like being really open to new people, new ideas, new processes, having that flexibility as I start this new business is really important because, I want to be able to move in the direction that best serves the people that I'm working with. So answering the call of opportunity and being open to new ideas is the A. The D, demonstrate integrity and authenticity in every decision I make. And this really speaks to listening to your heart and your gut, like if you just slow down long enough to listen to what your body is telling you, what your heart is telling you, what your gut is telling you, the answers are all right there. But our brain gets into it and tries to convince us to go a different way. And whenever we go the way that, that's opposite of what our heart is telling us, we usually end up making a mistake. Mistakes are awesome because they help us to grow, but I really want to be more intentional about like sitting in the silence and listening to, what my heart and gut is saying in terms of any decisions I make so that I'm making them with authenticity and with integrity.
With outrageous authenticity.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So here's the other thing. You talked about like how your brain wants to take you in a different direction. But I feel like sometimes we don't even take the time to sit down and listen and dig within. We don't even take it. We're just running constantly. Like slow down, take the time. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And that, that speaks to, meditation. And, I've been really good the last probably month or so. When I go to bed, I turn like a 20-minute meditation on, and that's been like really getting me into the right space to have a good night's sleep. So that like sets you up for the next day.
Yeah.
Okay. The I is instill an attitude of progress rather than perfection and allow myself to move at my own pace.
Ooh,
huge.
That is a big one. That's huge.
Huge. Like probably one of the first things I learned when I started my yoga practice 25 years ago was move at your own pace. Like you don't have to keep up with the yoga journal yogi next to you, and you can modify, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do a split or turn yourself upside down. Like yoga is meant to create mobility and mindfulness, right? So, and to unify your heart and your mind and your spirit. So why are we constantly, we might do that on the yoga mat, but then we get off the yoga mat and we're like trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to do what our competitors doing, and like, stop, like progress, not perfection, move at your own pace, modify.
That sounds like a win. You know what? If you're doing that, you're not competing with anybody else but yourself. And you get yourself there on your own pace. Yeah. At your own pace. On your own timeline.
Yes, exactly. And that, starting this new business has been one of the biggest ahas for me. It's like my entire career has been around, oh my God, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to produce. I have to, I have to get promoted. I have to, impress. And starting this business, I sort of started with that mindset, like, oh, Carrie, we have to do this. And then I realized like, no, we don't have to do all of that all at once. Like it's little things every single day. It's like that compound effect. Like you do the right thing every single day, little by little by little, and it will grow. Stop like burning. You don't want to burn yourself out. And I think that's one of the biggest things I think so many of us learned coming out of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm. Your results too from doing things that way over time are going to lead you closer to what you consider perfection versus trying to get it all done and overdoing and doing things that are not relevant just because somebody else does it, right?
Exactly. And it doesn't speak to who you are. Okay. So the second A in Radiate is ask questions and listen so that I can serve at the highest level. And that's really my approach to all of my clients is, tell me about you. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? I want to ask as many questions as possible, listen and learn so that I can create a product that they're going to love, So that's the A. The T, tell my story in a way that creates connection with others. This is kind of like, I was listening to a podcast the other day and it was an agent speaking and she was talking about the art of listening. And she said, it really is important to listen. And so many agents are quick to do all the talking and, to be, pounding their chest or talking about how much money they make or how many transactions they do or their market share or any of that stuff, right? And how great they are. And, she said she has gone into listing presentations where all she has done is listened. And then when she leaves, the people are internally grateful. They feel like they're, thank you so much. And in reality, she's like, I didn't do anything but listen to them. So they felt seen and heard.
Yep.
And, I think it's important to tell your story. I think it's important to relate to people, but in a way that's going to help create and build that connection between two people. And that only happens through listening, So, yes, you want to be relatable, know, like, trust, and relate, right? But you also, you need to listen and bring your story in where it's going to support that connection.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
did you ever like encounter somebody that you're talking with and all they do is talk about themselves? Like you mentioned it about, some real estate agents, but just in general, anybody like talk. Like I say to myself, like, why are you trying to prove something to me? Like, I don't care,
Yeah.
I don't care. Good for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like that's great. But like, who cares? Like it's so much better to have that mutual conversation where you're listening and talking and relating to each other. I hate that. I mean, and that's what I do when I go into a listing appointment too. I go in, I want to learn about the sellers. I want to learn about their home, what they love about it, why they love living where they do, what's causing them to move, hopefully something good. I want to hear all about them. And it's so much more rewarding. It's happy. It's great for the seller because they want to tell you their story. I mean, let's face it, the listing appointment is about them, not me.
Yep.
I need to go there and like spread out like all my papers and all my accolades and all about this and what I do and how I do. No, I'm going there to meet you. Let's see if we connect. And then the rest comes. So
yes, 100%.
Absolutely. Listening is crucial. Absolutely.
Yes. So it's and the last one is E for Radiate. And the E is embrace the ebbs and flows and surrender into the discomfort. And I think, right? I think that's so important for this, where we are, Carrie and I are with our business right now, because it is going to ebb and flow. And that's okay. That is okay. I want to be able to surrender into that and not get too high, not get too low. and just continue to focus on what I know I need to do and serving my clients well. And just when it's uncomfortable, just like settle into the discomfort, don't let it force me to react. I don't want to react to it. I want to just surrender into it, recognize it, and then continue to move forward. So
that's really hard to do.
It is.
I give you a lot of credit for putting that in your word, because that would definitely be amazing to be able to overcome. It's hard. Yeah. That's really hard. So, but it's such a great goal.
It is. And I think, when I went back and I looked at this whole thing, I realized that so much of it, the surrendering into discomfort, the, progress, not perfection, the listening, the sitting in silence, all of that goes back to my yoga roots. And so I'm like, oh yeah, like there it is. This is what I've been, working on for 25 years. And sometimes it just kind of falls by the wayside. You don't always make the connections, so that feels really good.
Yeah, the word actually brings all of that to the surface, and it brings it out in the open.
Yeah.
I think it makes it happen instead of being stuck down in there, it makes you more aware of what you need to do, what you want to do.
Yep.
Awesome. Yes. Awesome.
I want to put that, Deborah's latest guide out there again. It's deborahtrapin.com/mylife23. It's a complete guide to help you to create your guiding word for 2023. So I would highly recommend, downloading it. And I would love to to know, like, what's your guiding word for our listeners? I would love to know what people's guiding words are and where they come from, and, how they align with where you want to be and what your next steps are in your life and in your business. So definitely reach out to us and let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I mean, we said this before, but it has really made such a big difference in my life. And I know yours as well. It might sound silly at first, like my word of the year, because I think that's what I thought the very first time. I was like, what's that going to do for me? But like when you dig into the process and you do this, it's really amazing. It really is fun and enlightening. And yeah, we really highly suggest that, anyone listening, do this. You'll see it makes a difference. It really makes a difference.
Well, we're going to end this last official, No Like Trust podcast. And I'm going to ask you to finish this sentence.
I did not even think about this in advance. Oh my God.
Finish this sentence. No Like Trust is
being true to yourself and radiating that out to the world. Yeah. Right off of my brain, just like that. No preparation at all. Yeah.
And on that note, Betty, thank you for everything. This is not goodbye. This is see you in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. And, I can't wait. I'm so excited for our next show together.
Me too. And we'll be back here in 2 weeks. We have a great lineup of guests. I can't remember who's next week. I think it's Pam Blair, who is the broker owner of Yoga Bug Real Estate in Portland, Oregon. She's phenomenal. She's a yoga sister to me. So definitely tune in for that. This live cast will be published next week on our podcast. If you're enjoying this, please give us 5 stars and write us a review, share it with your friends. We would so appreciate it. And stay tuned for more information on our, more details about our transition. Till next time, friends. Have a great day.
That's a wrap. Yay. Ciao. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for listening. If you like this podcast, we'd love it if you subscribe and leave a review. If you're interested in being a guest on the show, please reach out to Christine or Betty on social media for consideration. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Please join us next time for another insightful conversation on incorporating know, like, and trust into your business.